My name is Lin Xiaoman. In my 17 years of life, I have always prided myself on being a student with excellent test scores in the natural division and never falling out of the valedictorian position of the whole school. But God is very fair. He gave me a cool and sharp head in the exam world, but forgot to give me a normal liver. That's right, my only fatal flaw is cowardice, super cowardice. And my biggest natural enemy in life is none other than Co2, the #1 big brother of high school, and also my fiancé in my mother's womb. Welcome to an audio. Hope you enjoy listening to the story. Co2 is an absurd existence. He is 1.85 tall, his face is always gloomy like someone owes him, he acts arrogantly, fights like a god. In the eyes of all the students at this school, Co2 is the living king of hell, and in my eyes, he is a time bomb. The two Lam families were originally close friends. Our biological mothers accidentally drank too much at a party in the past and absent-mindedly pointed to their bellies for a kiss. So from kindergarten to high school, I always had to live under the psychological ghost named Co-Tuesday. He hates me. I use the logic of a scholar to confirm that 100%. In 6th grade, there was a class vice president who secretly stuffed milk cartons and desk drawers for me. That afternoon, Co2 grabbed him by the collar and pulled the thin confession board behind the tree. The next day, the class vice president saw me and ran away crying as if he had seen something evil. In 9th grade, my senior wrote me a saucy love letter filled with hearts. Co2 happened to pass by, grabbed the piece of paper, tore it up to make a photo, threw it straight into the box in front of the whole crowd, turned and glared at me with bullet-shaped eyes. If you dare to fall in love, I'll break your legs. It's clear that he hates this engagement to the bone. He hates me so much that he doesn't want any male to come close to me, wants me to stay single until old to get revenge for being forced by my two families. Yes. Recently, I also heard Fong fans rumor that Co2 is eyeing Tong Jai Jai, the class beauty next door, who has a sweet smile and an ant waist. In addition, yesterday, Co2's mother's aunt called to my house to complain. Xiaoman, Tu has been very bad lately. You are his fiancé, you have to control him tightly and be rude. I disown him. Transfer all company shares to your name. After listening, chills ran down my spine. Mom, your great-grandmother is pushing her own son to death. With Co2's crazy personality, if he knew that his biological mother intended to give me the inheritance rights, and also hindered his love path with Hoa Koi Tong, my outcome would be extremely 3 points. The law of preserving life told me to act first and end this engagement before Co2 could make a move. Friday afternoon, harsh sunlight shines through the classroom window. Co2 was sleeping face down on the table, his uniform shirt with the top 2 buttons undone, revealing his sharp collarbone. His hair was a bit messy, a few stray strands covering his tightly furrowed eyebrows. His trusted juniors, Tong Vi and Tran Fai, were on their phones playing games. I stood outside the classroom door, took a deep breath, my hand clutched the notebook tightly. Sandwiched between the complex derivative and integral formulas was the annulment agreement paper that I had stayed up all night to draw out. Lin Xiaoman, you can solve differential equations and you can still solve them. Damn, what's with this divorce thing? I muttered hypnotically to myself. Then gritted his teeth and walked in. As soon as I appeared, the noise in the classroom sounded like someone pressed the pause button. Dozens of eyes turned towards me. Tong Bai was drunk. When he looked up and saw me, he was startled and his phone almost fell to the ground. He elbowed Tran Fai's hand, and they both immediately stood solemnly like wax statues, proactively moving aside to make way for me. The eyes looking at me carried an incomprehensible awe. My footsteps were as heavy as lead. The distance from the classroom door to the desk was less than 10 meters long, but I felt like I was walking on a scaffold, cold sweat pouring down my forehead. I stopped in front of his desk. Co2 still closed his eyes, breathing evenly, his long eyelashes casting shadows on his cheeks. It must be recognized that this devil sleeps obediently like a fallen angel, with no dead angles. But I'm not in the mood to look at handsome guys. I gulped, tremblingly pulled out a blank piece of paper from the advanced math book, carefully placed it on the edge of his desk, trying not to make any noise. Then I used up 200% of the courage I had accumulated since birth. Liney spoke, Coco too, wake up, I have something to say. My voice was so small that I could have been a fly passing by even louder. Ko2 slowly opened his eyes, his sleepy eyes glancing over my pale face. Just with that one glance, I wanted to kneel down and apologize, then pick up the torn piece of paper and swallow it. But there was no time left. Ko2's gaze fell on the table. He lazily picked up the paper. The first 3 seconds, the space was suffocatingly quiet. By the 4th second, I could see the temperature in the classroom plummeting to -°C. His handsome face immediately turned black like a floating bottom. Faint blue veins appeared on the back of the hand holding the paper. He gritted his teeth and read each letter of the bold title. Paper, agreement, annulment of marriage. Every word that came out from between his teeth carried a chill to the bone. Tong Vi and Tran Phi, standing 2 meters away, simultaneously took 3 steps back, hugged each other tightly and swallowed their saliva. The whole class held their breath. I was so scared that my teeth were chattering and I stammered out explanations like a machine. Coco too, you heard me say that I planned it carefully. This marriage contract was originally arranged by adults, completely violating personal freedom and family law. I know you don't like me, don't worry, I'll go home and tell your mother it's because I don't deserve you. Please feel free to pursue Hoa Koi Tong. Before I could finish my humane defense, Ko2 crushed the empty soda can on the table with one hand. Boom! He slammed his fist down on the desk, the force was so terrifying that a dry crack rang out. The school's plywood desk surface cracked in a long line. My mind went blank, my scholarly instincts automatically turned on instead of my ability to communicate. The impact force is about 500 N, if not careful, it will cause broken bones in the hand. The reaction force of the table surface is very large. Lam Tu Man Ko2 roared loudly, cutting off my chain of nonsense. He kicked the chair away and stood up. The height advantage of 1.85 immediately crushed my 1.60 figure. He leaned in so close that our noses almost touched. I could smell the scent of green oolong tea mixed with a deadly and dangerous scent emanating from him. Ko2's eyes were bloodshot, like a wild animal being angered. He gritted his teeth, each word seemed like he wanted to chew me alive. Very good. Your brain is full of chemical equations, so your nerves are damaged, right? Which monkey is Tong Jai Jai? Who gave you permission to tuck me in for someone else? Who gave me permission to ask for an annulment? But you hate me. I shrank my neck like a turtle. Tears rolled around the room, her voice tearful. You're always mean to me, you scold me, you don't let me play with anyone. Ko2 was stunned for half a second. For some reason, in that moment, I saw the anger in his eyes give way to an indescribable helplessness and resentment. But that expression passed by so quickly that I thought I had seen it wrong. Immediately after that, the gruff hoodlum's expression appeared again. Ko2 smirked, his smile made the goosebumps on my body dance. He waved his hand, with a swish, the annulment agreement that had been my heart and soul all night turned into white snowflakes and fell to the floor. He hates you, right? He really hates this stupid attitude of yours. Ko2 coldly snorted, I'm tired of living, or is there someone else sneaking around outside? Cancel the marriage, in the next life. Having said that, I didn't have time to digest that threatening statement that was filled with the style of a domineering president mixed with a thin gangster. Ko2 suddenly bent down and put his arm around my waist. Ah. What are you doing? The world was spinning, the next second I found myself lying on Ko2's shoulder. He carried me on his shoulder as light as carrying a bag of rice, and walked straight out of the classroom with long strides. All the students in the class, including the juniors, gasped and their jaws dropped to their navels. I panicked and struggled, hitting his back. Ko2, you crazy person, put me down, where are you taking me? Killing someone is a violation of the law. The mouth is also calculating nonsense. I really threw you out the window. Ko2 growled and punched me on the waist. It was very light, but enough to make me cringe and go to the medical room to check to see what was in her brain. I desperately buried my face in the back of his uniform, not daring to look at anyone. Along the hallway, countless frightened eyes followed us. Less than 15 minutes later, on the #1 high school forum, a red topic exploded, climbing straight to the top 1 trending shocking news. Big Brother Truong Tutu got angry and vaccinates straight student Ba Lam Tu Man to take action because he dared to give a divorce certificate right in the middle of class. The logistics team is preparing to pick up the valedictorian's body. I lay on Ko Tu's shoulder, tears in my eyes, crying for my short youth. I'm sure I'm dead, this time I've really touched the venom of this wild demon. The medical room at high school #1 was as quiet as a sheet of paper on a Friday afternoon. The fragile wooden door was kicked open mercilessly by a kick. The nurse was applying wind oil to a 10th grade male student who had been hit by the wind. As soon as she looked up and saw Big Brother Ko Tu's intense expression and the lump that was the valedictorian of the entire grade lying flat on his shoulder, she immediately dropped the entire bottle of oil in panic. The nurse was surprisingly quick-witted, immediately grabbed the male student's collar and ran out, leaving a sentence echoing in the wind. I have an emergency briefing at the office, you two are welcome to use the medical equipment. Are you joking? The atmosphere at this time, even if equipped with an oxygen tank, could not save me. Ko Tu threw me onto the bed covered with white sheets in the corner of the room. The elastic force of the spring mattress combined with the acceleration of gravity made me bounce. The mind is dizzy and wobbly. I crawled into the corner of the wall, hugged my pillow tightly, and trembled as I looked at the demon who was standing with his arms crossed in front of me. He was breathing heavily, his chest was heaving, his long eyelashes drooped slightly, covering his dark, complex eyes. But just a few seconds later, the familiar hoodlum's face appeared again. My complicated thoughts were interrupted when Ko Tu placed both hands on the mattress, slowly pressing them closer. The atmosphere was so stuffy that the oxygen index around me seemed to drop to negative levels. Say it. Ko Tu's voice was deep and hoarse, controlling the anger burning in his eyes. Lam Tu Man, what exactly is in your head that you dare to write on that piece of paper? I closed my eyes, hugged my pillow tightly, and trembled as I recited a prayer. Contains enlightenment. Ko Tu, I understand you. You don't need to humiliate yourself anymore. If you like Tong Jai Jai, just go chase her. I support you with both hands and feet. I would probably tell my aunt that because I study too hard, have a twisted mentality, and have a tendency toward domestic violence, I'm not worthy of being the Ko family's daughter-in-law. He won't cut off your shares. Please forgive me, I just want to live in peace and solve university entrance exams. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds passed, there was no skull-breaking punch like I imagined, instead there was a chilling silence. I secretly opened one eye. Ko Tu's face at this moment is really difficult to describe. His muscles widened, the corner of his mouth twitched, his eyes stared at me wide open like he was looking at an alien creature that had just landed on Earth. You. Ko Tu choked on his words, his finger pointing straight at my face trembled. What did you just say? I'm Tich Tong Jai Dai, are you having optical illusions or brain fog? The other day on the stairs I saw 2 bitch dong people. You are listening to the exclusive story at an audio. Every other channel is copying brain matter without permission. Please support the author. I tried to argue bluntly, using every possible argument to defend my thesis. Besides, you hate me so much. You scold everyone who comes close to me. Phew. Ko Tu suddenly raised his hand and held his neck back, his chest heaving violently. I didn't know if he was laughing or vomiting blood from anger. Suddenly Ko Tu bowed down, his big hands grabbed my shoulders, pulling me close to him. The smell of mint mingled with his strong heartbeat. Cham Bao Toi. Ruk Lua. Lam Tu Man, M Nacho Ky Day. Ko Tu Engian Rang Rit Len Tung Chu. Hoi Tho Nong Ruk Fa Veo Mat Toi. Thursday Not, Tong Jai Jai La Con Now Toi Con Doc No 10. Ham Du No Ko Tin Na Veo Toi, Toi Na Ra De No Dap Mat Veo Tuong. Bitch Dong Sai Dao M. Tua chop chop mat, luong thong tin nai hoi vut qua ka nong su ly qua cpu neo bo. Thursday hi, ka ta bop chat by tua han mot chet. Jong noi bong dung zen lon mot tia muc rat dang ka gi. Ong de dap mei tang du vi ong de kong cho fep chung no den gon m. M la 6 han the qua tua. M mang dan fan qua tua, m con muon tang now tang suhom ha? Tua ngo nuoi. The tai sa ka lai quap duan qua min? Tai sa ka che min chan non? Ko tu kung hong, mat ka ta bong nin zut hien mot vet hong ka gi lan en hen tu ko len tan mang tai. Being now loi jong ho ne geo suddenly there were signs of serious cracking. He avoided my eyes, let go of my shoulder, stood up straight, and coughed a few times. Because you eat a lot of sweets and your teeth get cavities, and your short legs make you walk slowly, so I can walk next to you. Why do you ask so many questions? Ko Tu was grumpy, frantically stuffing his hands into his pockets, hiding his overwhelming confusion. In short, he cleared his throat and regained his big brother demeanor. Wei Vu glared at me and threatened me from now on, forbidding me to repeat the 2 words annulment, otherwise he leaned down close to my ear and whispered in a deep, hoarse voice that was absolutely deadly. If not, he will kiss you right in the middle of the school flag to prove to all teachers and students that we have no emotional problems at all. Can you hear me? My heart. The blood-pumping organ, which always operates at a steady pace of 70 beats per minute, officially lost its rhythm at that moment. Red warnings rang loudly in the brain. It seems like the equation about prefixes that I've been solving for the past 17 years has completely gone wrong. Since that fateful Friday afternoon in the medical office, a black hole in the worldview trained for 17 years by my dialectical materialist education system has officially appeared. During the last 3 days of the week, I locked myself in my room, used 5 A4 sheets of scratch paper, listed all the hypotheses, drew a mind map, and applied the principle of statistical probability to reanalyze Ko Tu's statement. He won't let them come near you, he will kiss you right in the middle of the school door. Monday morning, I walked into class with 2 dark circles under my eyes as big as a Sichuan panda, carefully holding my school bag and gingerly walking towards my desk. As soon as I arrived, I turned to stone. The position next to me, which originally belonged to the obedient, nearsighted class vice president, was now replaced by a tall figure. Ko Tu, wearing a crisp white uniform shirt, was placing one hand on my desk, tapping his fingers to attract the attention of all living creatures within a 10-meter radius. The vice class student stood in the corner of the wall, holding his school bag, with tears in his eyes, looking at me as if he were looking at a martyr. I swallowed thickly, my legs suddenly spread out. Ko Tu, why are you sitting here? Your desk is on the last row. Ko Tu raised his eyes and looked at me. Today he didn't apply gel. His soft hair fell over his forehead, making his facial expression less sharp. He raised his chin and pointed to the empty space next to him. The area down there had bad feng shui, affecting the magnetic field for brain development. From now on, I'll move up here to sit. Any ideas? I quickly shook my head like I was fighting a fever. No opinion, don't dare to have an opinion. I still want to live until the university entrance exam. I timidly sat down, trying to narrow the contact area as much as possible, pressing myself close to the edge of the wall. At this moment, a box of premium brand strawberry yogurt and a green tea sponge cake were pushed to my table. Eat it. Ko Tu ordered curtly, his eyes still glued to the phone screen. I was startled and looked at the pink yogurt box with extremely cautious eyes. I just ate breakfast. The juniors went to buy breakfast and bought the wrong flavor. This guy hates sweet potatoes, if you don't eat them, throw them in the bin. Ko Tu frowned, his tone clearly showing impatience. But with the 10 out of 10 eyesight of a scholar wearing glasses, I glanced at him and immediately saw the payment receipt sticking out of his uniform pocket. Payment time, 6:45 a.m., the cake shop is 3 kilometers from the school. Please note the green tea drink from customers, get the freshest and least sweet one. My girlfriend doesn't like to eat too sweet, strawberry yogurt. My brain immediately rang a red level warning bell. Thinking of this, I bit my lip, closed my eyes and closed my nose, picked up the cake and took a big bite, chewing it like I was chewing beeswax, inwardly and indignantly telling myself, eat when you eat, after all it's the last meal, you can't waste expensive things. The most horrifying episode was not the breakfast that took my life, but the days that followed, when he officially launched a campaign of mental torture in the form of tutoring. During recess in math class, I was engrossed in underlining complex integral formulas. Suddenly, with a loud pop, a thick stack of natural college mock test questions was slammed straight onto my desk. I looked up to see Ko2 leaning on his chin, looking at me, his deep eyes lecturing me. I stammered, explaining what? Ko2 coldly snorted and taught physics and chemistry. The elders have a saying, the choir depends on you, you are the valedictorian, I am the runner-up, standing next to each other reduces the average value of the family. Starting today, you are responsible for upgrading my IQ. If I don't pass the university entrance exam, I will break your habit. The brutal threat that directly hit the school's inseparable thing scared me to the point of being paralyzed. I hastily opened the math exam question, my hand shaking with a ballpoint pen, and began to explain. This is an exponential function. To solve this equation, you must set t equals 2x. Then I carefully glanced at Ko2 while explaining. He leaned closer to me, the distance between the two of us narrowed to less than an inch. The cool mint scent from his uniform continuously penetrated my sense of smell, disturbing my thoughts. Instead of looking at the numbers on the paper, Ko2's deep black eyes were blatantly fixed on my face. His eyes moved from my eyebrows down to the tip of my nose and stopped at my lips that were moving to explain the formula dung but. Ko2, ka konin veo de kong the? By bat qua tang, Ko2 hoi kung lai, tai ka ta bong phim hong, en hung tsai ming van han nu thuong. Tua dang dung phuong fap ghi no hin on, m jong kem the, mat ti nan no. Tua nin mat m de don zem cho nai ko den im uc now. Teep tucd. Tua dan gam dang nut k teep tuc jong. The en hung de moi la cuc hin tuk su. Ko tu aro rong dang dung su rot nat gia tau da esine huck tri Tuesday qua toi. Ka nin ne. Gia tok trong truong ji bang 9.8 m/ga2. Cheek xi chian dong en handan du. Bei van tok sao 5 ga la bao nyu? Toi kien nan hoi. Ko tu ka mai sui gi mot luk roi tu tin dap. Am 50 km/h toi sat hok mau. Tai sa lai liam? Cheek xi dang di toi ko ma. Ka ko beaten gwen ly ko ban qua dong hok kong. Ko tun hun vai. Kai quan mot catch vo li ly truck kai trang. Cheek, this car was being chased by a ghost. The driver was so panicked that he mistakenly pressed the accelerator pedal for the brake pedal. The car backed up, so the speed was negative. My physics thinking is too mechanical and has no practical application. Oh my god, can someone bring an oxygen tank to save me? And yet, it's chemistry time. What the hell are you writing about? The neutralization reaction creates salt and water. Why did you create an explosive compound? I scratched my head, feeling like my brain nerve was about to snap. Ko2 lazily leaned back in his chair, the corner of his lips curled up in a subtle arc. Because I like explosions, it's like watching you babble angrily, looking more alive than the trembling appearance that you wanted to hide from me before. This sentence entered my ears and was immediately automatically transmitted by my brain. Translated into, I love torturing you, watching you suffer because of my ruin is the greatest joy in my life. Tears welled up in my eyes. I completely understood. He knew that the fatal weakness of a scholar was that he could not endure the unscientific knowledge. He was using this method to mentally abuse me, forcing me to go crazy and voluntarily transfer to another school in the midst of extreme sadness. The situation around the class took a completely different turn. The appearance of the king of hell in the front row, the area that was the holy land of the 100 Good Student Council, created a terrible pressure. On a snowy Wednesday afternoon, the sunlight poured down on the scorching hot field of the No. 1 high school. While the class's male students were sweating like crazy on the basketball court, I, as a student with the physical strength ranked last in the entire school, was at peace. Under the shade of an old almond tree, he bent down to solve the chemistry test. From my position, looking out at the soccer field, I could clearly see a center of attraction named Co Tuesday. He was wearing a black sports t-shirt, his sweaty lines revealing his toned muscles. Every jump and shot he made was followed by shrill screams from the girls surrounding the soccer field. The wind resistance today is 2m/square, the throwing angle is 45 degrees. If he lowers the center of gravity by 5 centimeters, the probability of the ball entering the basket will increase by 15%. While engrossed in analyzing the ball's trajectory with trigonometric functions, suddenly a stream of air thick with the smell of synthetic perfume rushed into my nose, completely cutting off my thoughts. Big curls, red lipstick on her lips, and a uniform skirt deliberately cinched at the waist and cut 5 centimeters above the knee is Tong Jai Jai Hoa Koi, the female lead in the bloody love drama that my brain has been drawing for the past few days. You are Lam Tu Man, right? Tong Jai Jai crossed her arms across her chest, tilted her head and looked at me with half an eye. Her demeanor was as arrogant as those evil supporting ladies in the 8 p.m. dramas. Around her, there were 2 or 3 girlfriends following in the background, carrying mineral water and cold towels, getting ready to provide supplies for the school's boss. Following my survival instinct, when faced with an aggressive creature, I shrank my neck and clutched the chemistry outline book tightly to find a sense of safety. Is there anything wrong? Tong Jai Jai lightly smirked, his eyes glanced over my thick glasses and my loose ponytail, his tone filled with contempt. I really don't understand why Co 2 is tied to someone like you. Lam Tu Man, don't look at yourself in the mirror, you're just staring at dry numbers all day, your conversations are bland and tasteless. Do you think a big brother like On 2 would be interested in a living dictionary? I was stunned. Did she come here to fight jealousy? I quickly waved my hand, my eyes shining with sincerity. You're right, I'm extremely dry, I'm extremely bland, Co 2 and I don't have the same frame of reference at all. I'm looking for every way to annul the marriage. Please help me convince him to let me go, I'm begging you. Tong Jai Jai was stunned, her friends also stared at each other. Obviously, my overly cooperative reaction was completely outside the dramatic script she had prepared. Feeling like she had lost face for punching the cotton bag, Tong Jai Jai angrily gritted her teeth, don't pretend to be noble. If you really want to annul the marriage, why does 2 have to patiently sit next to you every morning? Why did he buy you breakfast himself? It's obvious that you used the power of both families to force him to serve you. Well, she's jealous. Tong Jai's love for him was so deep that it hurt to see his loved one have to patiently buy cakes for an archenemy like me. But wait, it's okay for her to insult me, but she dares to tell me to use my power to coerce him. Insulting the personality of a scholar is a taboo. The courage within me was suddenly consumed by the fire of academic pride. When it comes to expertise, I absolutely cannot bear it. I slowly stood up, pushed up my glasses, my face turned into serious valedictorian mode. Said clearly, classmate Tong, your argument contains at least 3 serious logical fallacies. What? Tong Jai Jai rolled her eyes. First, I raised one finger, my voice clear as if I was presenting to the jury. You told me I'm dry. Sorry, the human body is 70% water, unless I'm an Egyptian mummy whose tissue fluid has been drained, otherwise biologically, I can't be dry. Are you crazy? A friend of Jai Jai exclaimed. I ignored it and continued raising my finger. Second, you said that Co 2 and I are in 2 different worlds according to Einstein's special theory of relativity. Unless Co 2 is moving at approximately the same speed, the speed of light of 299,792,458 m/sy leads to length contraction and time expansion. Otherwise, we would still be sharing the same physical space and time on the surface of the Earth. Tong Jai Jai began to breathe heavily, her face red from anger mixed with extreme confusion. She didn't seem to understand a word I just said, but felt like she was being cursed in an alien language. And third, I decided to take the nib of a ballpoint pen and point it straight at the bottle of perfume that was emitting a strong scent on her neck. The concentration of Tail's compound and artificial musk in the bottle of water. The cheap flower you are spraying exceeds the Ministry of Health's limit. Not only does it cause hormonal disruption, but with this 38 degrees Celsius environment, if you enter the chemical laboratory, the risk of an explosion due to the evaporation of alcohol is 85%. Please stay at least 2 meters away from me to ensure fire safety. Lam Tu man, don't you dare curse me. Tong Jai Jai shouted, stomping his feet, tears welling up in his eyes. I couldn't find any words in my brain to respond to my academic speech. She was so angry that she raised her hand to slap her. I closed my eyes, shivering, waiting for the pain. Damn, this is no joke. Bang! A heavy sound rang out, but it wasn't a slap in the face. I slowly opened my eyes and discovered that I was not injured. Right in front of me, a large and sturdy back like Tai Sun was standing. Ko Tu held the basketball in one hand, while the other hand reached out to catch Tong Dai's wrist that was swinging in midair. The schoolyard suddenly fell silent. The group of male students who were shouting and laughing next to the soccer field also fell silent, gaping mouths and looking at the base of the blackboard. Ko Tu didn't even look at Tong Jai Jai, his face was so cold that it could freeze even the 38 degrees Celsius sun. His grip was so tight that Tong Jai Jai winced in pain. The tears that were just an act were now flowing for real. Brother, you hurt me. She sobbed. The petulant voice turned miserable, trying to use tearful puppy eyes to evoke the male god's pity. That little girl, cursed at me, she bullied me. Ko Tu squinted his eyes and jerked his hand away as if he had just touched a contagious disease. He used his hand to brush off his shirt, then frowned and took a half step back, covering his nose with his hand. Which child are you? Why stand in the way of natural air conditioning? I saw someone still smelling strongly of mosquito spray. Stay out of the way and be careful. I reported to school security for causing air pollution. The whole crowd around took a breath of cold air. Mosquito spray, poisonous to the mouth, too poisonous to the mouth. This level and aspect of Big Brother Truong is truly a fatal blow that destroys the self-esteem of a girl's family. Tong's face changed from red to pale, then from white to blue, his red lipstick lips trembled. What did you say? I'm Jai Jai, the other day you stopped me from falling down the stairs. Ko Tu looked suddenly awakened. Turns out you're the girl walking around without eyes, leaning against the wall the other day. I avoided her because I was afraid that her 5 centimeters thick layer of powder would stain my uniform and not wash it cleanly. Now get out of my sight before I put this basketball in your ass. After saying that sentence, the aura on Ko Tu's body exploded, scaring Tong Jai Jai and his friends into crying, turning around and running for their lives towards the headquarters building, not daring to look back. After solving the environmental pollution, Ko Tu slowly turned back to look at me. I was now standing huddled in the corner of the almond tree, still holding the chemistry outline in my hand like a talisman, my eyes blinking as I looked at him without blinking. Contrary to the fierce and murderous attitude just now, when he saw me, Ko Tu's eyes suddenly softened a bit, but his mouth still let out the familiar scolding words. Lam Tu ma, besides containing the periodic table of chemical elements, your brain is empty, right? People raised their hands to fight. You don't know how to run, so you close your eyes and wait for death? I told you outside, don't be too gentle and people will bully you. Am I really stupid or pretending to be stupid? He raised his hand and tapped a glass hard on my forehead. The force sounds loud but actually doesn't hurt at all, more like a shaking punishment. I held my forehead and looked up at him, my mind spinning wildly. What just happened? Tong Jai Jai came to fight jealousy. Ko Tu did not defend his Bok Noyet Kwang, but instead turned around and scolded her. Furthermore, what did he just call me? Do you not like Tong Jai Jai? I blurted out the stupidest question in human history. Ko Tu was so angry that he burst out laughing. He lowered his face, the tip of his nose almost touching my glasses. Hot breath blew on my cheek. Are you blind or something that you like that kind of perfume spray that causes an explosion in the laboratory? Who will bully you next time? Immediately read my name. I am Kotu's person. In this number 1 school, no one but me has the right to bully you. Can you hear me? My heart rate suddenly accelerated from 70 to a straight 120 beats per minute. Overload warning, Lin Xiaoman's logic system is about to collapse. I vaguely realized that my revenge conspiracy theory seemed to have gone seriously off track. That obvious attitude of covering up his flaws, that look of anger and pain in his eyes. Is Big Brother Truong really protecting me? After the earth-shattering event of the hero-saving student Ba Kin Tian at the basketball court, the law of preserving my life was officially invalidated. My confusion reached its peak that Saturday night. When my mother kicked me out, I went to the Ko family's house with the excuse that my aunt was cooking rib soup with lotus root. Mom's busy playing mahjong, so go over there and eat, and by the way, you'll be able to study with her. I carried my backpack full of practice exam questions and walked into the tiger's den with the feeling of stepping onto a guillotine. My aunt tried to welcome me with a smile as bright as the sun, put a plate of pre-peeled fruit in my hand and pushed me straight to the room. Ko-tu, he just finished taking a bath. Go in and take care of him and solve the problem. I'll go reheat the soup. Standing in front of the gray oak bedroom door, I took a deep breath, applied the principle of dynamic balance to stabilize my heart rate, and then knocked on the door. No one answered, so I took the risk of turning the unlocked doorknob. The room was deserted, only the sound of running water coming from the half-closed bathroom. It turns out this unjust guy hasn't finished showering yet. I breathed a sigh of relief, tiptoed to his spacious desk, pulled out a stack of physics exam questions, and planned to do a few questions in advance. But just as I pulled my lucky Tianlong ballpoint pen out of the box, a fateful incident happened. My hand suddenly moved, the pen fell onto the wooden floor, rolled along a perfectly curved trajectory and then sank deep under the bed. Damn goo, I don't know where the kinetic energy came from to roll that far. I silently groaned, quickly knelt down on the floor, pressed my cheek against the cold wooden floor, and reached under the bed to grope. It was dark under the bed. My hand was frantically scrabbling around and couldn't find the pen. Instead, I touched a cold, rectangular metal object. With the curious nature of a scientific researcher, I grabbed the object and pulled it out into the light. It was an old iron box containing Danisa cookies. The edges of the box were rusty, and the weight was quite heavy. I shook it gently, and there was a rattling sound inside. A thought flashed in my mind. Is this a black box containing evidence of the school's crime? Or is it the list of victims he murdered for daring to stand in the way of love? My reasoning brain immediately ordered, open it. The box was unlocked, with just a slight lift of the lid, all of Kotu's carefully hidden, earth-shattering secrets were exposed right before my eyes. Under the bright fluorescent lights, I held my breath, my pupils dilated, my heart seemed to stop beating for 2 seconds. Inside the box there were no daggers, no lighters, and no blacklist at all. What lay obediently in the box was a piece of trash. No, to be more precise, it was a miniature museum that stored the remnants of Lin Xiaoman. A strawberry-shaped hairpin was broken in half, lost in 3rd grade. An eraser shaped like a rabbit was bitten into pieces and lost his life in 5th grade. A 10-point math test with my signature in the corner was stolen in 8th grade under the pretense of borrowing the valedictorian's handwriting to see what was special about it, and countless other miscellaneous items that I had lost throughout the process of growing up. Located at the bottom of the box is a hand-sized black notebook. The edge of the window is worn out because it has been opened many times. My hands trembled as I picked up the notebook. Chemical reactions in the brain are taking place intensely. Nerve short circuits continuously. I gulped and flipped open the first page. The handwriting of dragons and phoenixes dances as defiantly as its owner. But the content was a nuclear explosion that flattened my entire consciousness. May 15th, 6th grade. Today, the class vice president dared to secretly fill me with peach-flavored yogurt. Doesn't he know that he is allergic to peaches? You idiot. I blocked his way and grabbed him by the collar. threatening to beat him up. Ko2's wife, he raises his own dog, why do you guys feed him? But he's so complacent and stupid that he seems afraid of me and frustrated. November 20th, 9th grade. There was a guy in the upper class who wrote love letters to satisfy him. You make 3 spelling mistakes and still want to learn from this guy? Tear up the letter and throw it in the box. Looking at her complacently pale face, she probably thought she was bullying her. Why does everyone have high kills but their EQ is so negative? How do I let her know I like her without losing the reputation of the school's big brother? Online waiting urgently. On May 11th, 11th grade, the bald guy from the physics team dared to invite him to the library. He dared to use the excuse of asking questions to approach his wife. Went to the library and sat between the two of us. Consummately solving the equation looks so pretty, I want to pinch my cheek so much, I can't help but keep up my cool image. Yesterday man asked for an annulment, she gave me the annulment agreement. She told me that I was going to have fun, she was vomiting blood. I want to bite this heartless thing to death. Maintaining a body like a jade for more than 10 years, cleaning up all the bees and butterflies around him, was finally thrown away by his wife. We have to take her back home and hide her. The notebook fell out of my hand and onto the carpet, my mind was blank, only the buzzing sound echoed. The bankruptcy revenge conspiracy theory, the bankruptcy psychological cold violence theory. The law of trying to hate Lin Xiaoman is completely wrong. All the numbers that I went to nin for the past 17 years have been overthrown. This solutionless equation suddenly found a unique answer, so simple and brilliant that it blinded me. Ko2 is a rice beggar who has secretly been crazy about his wife since he was young, like he had a terminal illness. At that moment, the rattling sound of the bathroom door handle rang out. Ko2 stepped out, her upper body exposed transform six-pack abs, a white cotton towel was draped around her neck, water droplets from her jet black hair rolled down her collarbone. He wiped his hair as he walked, muttering, "Xiaoman, my mother finished cooking." His voice suddenly stopped. The space in the room froze. Ko2's eyes touched me sitting on the ground, then slowly moved down to the open tin box, the pile of scattered trophies and the black-covered diary lying on the carpet. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, if there was a body temperature monitor here, I bet the temperature on Ko2's face right now would be over 100 degrees Celsius. A suspicious red streak appeared from his neck, spread quickly up to his ears, and then caught fire, engulfing that handsome rogue's entire face. The cold, cruel appearance of the king of hell shattered into pieces and fell to the ground. Lin Xiaoman. Ko2's voice trembled so high that his tone was off, he threw the towel on the ground, and walked forward like a whirlwind. Who let you search through my stuff? Instead of cowering in fear like usual, this time facing Ko2's anger, I felt an indescribable funny feeling in my heart. I raised my head to look at him, picked up the notebook, blinked and asked in the calm voice of a naturalist. Ko2, the third line on page 15 you wrote makes me want to gouge out the eyes of the guys around me, the grammatical structure is a bit shaky. Besides, why did you pick up my eraser that was chewed by the neighbor's dog? What about strawberry superhero hairpins? Do you have a hobby of collecting recycled cups? Ko2 stammered and flustered her hands, not knowing where to put them. He rushed over and snatched the notebook out of my hand, then clumsily gathered the things on the ground and haphazardly stuffed them into an iron box and hid it behind his back like a child caught stealing. I looked at it wrong. This writing is not mine. I found this box at the beach. Try to avoid arguing. Close your eyes and talk nonsense without caring about logic. I slowly stood up, brushed the dust off my knees, and walked closer to him. He took a step back, I took a step forward, until Ko2's back completely touched the wall and stopped. I raised my face, looked straight into his panicked black eyes, and gently lowered the latch. Ko2, do you know what the probability is that 2 handwritings are identical in terms of slope, pen pressure, and the habit of curving the letter G in this world? No, it's 1/68 billion, so don't make excuses like that in an unscientific way. Cornered, the last layer of disguise was stripped away. Ko2 let her hands drop, the iron box slid to the ground with a clatter. He tilted his head towards the ceiling, exhaling loudly, as if accepting his fate. Suddenly, Ko2 bowed his head, stretched out his hands and leaned on the wall, trapping me tightly in his arms. The distance was so close that I could feel the burning heat radiating from that sturdy chest. The eyes that had been avoiding me earlier had now been replaced by a deep affection, so fiery that it wanted to devour me. Okay, my classmate is the smartest, I win. Ko2's voice was deep and hoarse, carrying a bit of resentment. He rubbed himself against my forehead, breathing heavily. Having seen it all, what do you think? Is your IQ for show? I pursued you for more than 10 years, cleared the satellites around you, shaded you from the sun, and yet you asked for an annulment. Lamb to man, do you have a conscience? My heart exploded like fireworks exploding on New Year's Eve, my whole body went limp, my face felt hot. I stammered back. Who told you to pursue that way? Chasing after someone but always looking like you're asking for a debt, stealing snacks, hitting your classmates, then who knows? Ko2 burst out laughing, low from within his chest. He raised his hand and gently pinched the tip of my nose. Because I'm stupid, I don't know how to write poetry, I don't know how to do math as well as those nerds to approach you. He only knows how to use his fists to protect his territory. Once you know, from now on, you should not say the word annulment. This man has maintained his body like a jade for more than 10 years, just waiting for you. There, do you hear me? Stupid wife. Why is the word stupid wife coming out of his mouth so pleasant and sticky? The last layer of defense in my brain officially collapsed. I blushed until my ears were red. Lainey let out a small noise like a nose, obediently burying her face in his chest. Ko2 tightened his arms, hugging me like he was hugging a priceless treasure that had just been reclaimed from the hands of death. The following Monday morning, High School Number 1 witnessed a shocking event more terrible than Comet Hala hitting Earth. I am Lamb to man entering the school gate. Next to me less than 5 centimeters away is the big brother Ko2's. But that's not the scary point. The scary part was that Ko2's right hand was carrying my pink school bag with a nun's bunny print on his backpack shoulder. His left hand was holding my hand tightly, intertwining 10 fingers, walking horizontally in the middle of the schoolyard in front of more than 2,000 students and supervisors. Ko2, let go, the supervisor is looking. I blushed and tried to withdraw my hand but failed. Afraid of what? I am your legal fiancé, with certification from both parents. If the supervisor is good, he will call the parents here, but my mother won't buy this school so we can love each other comfortably. Ko2 was upright, his face raised to the sky, his eyes scanning the surrounding male students carrying a clear warning. The flower already has an owner, whoever looks at it will make you blind. Ko2's lawless favor has been upgraded to a whole new level. In math class, the teacher called me to the board to solve a super difficult spatial integral equation. I was standing and writing with chalk when suddenly there was the sound of a chair being pulled. Ko2 picked up his chair, placed himself in the middle of the first row, crossed his legs, folded his arms, and looked at me. Any child in the class who accidentally coughed slightly or dropped a pen made a sound. Ko2 immediately turned around, glared, mouthed the words, and silently let my wife do the homework. The whole class held their breath, rice was like mussels, the atmosphere was sacred and quiet like being in a mausoleum. Teacher Tone stood at the corner of the podium, wiping his sweat, not daring to chase this gatekeeper down. During recess, I was thirsty and before I could stand up, Ko2 threw a box of strawberry milk, this time with a straw on my table. He sat down next to me, took out a mini pink handheld fan from the desk drawer, turned it on to the highest number, then pointed it straight at my face and fanned it. Tong Vi and Tran Phi, 2 core juniors, stood outside the classroom door crying soundlessly. Our big brother has been taken away. Tong Vi clutched his chest in pain. I'm so suffocated, this dog rice is stuffing my throat. I need to find my lover. Tran Phi wiped his tears. My student Ba Lam Tu Man's high school life suddenly turned 180 degrees from a survival horror disaster movie into a movie where the school's CEO loves his wife insatiably. Even though sometimes he still makes my heart rate exceed the medical safety threshold, I have to admit with practical scientific evidence that I have been loved by a stupid scoundrel for more than 10 years. The feeling is indeed very sweet. The marriage annulment agreement was soon crushed into dust by Tuesday. Instead, he stuffed another piece of paper into my bag, written by himself. Application for promotion from fiancé to legal husband. Reviewer Lin Xiaoman signed Co. Forever Love You. I looked at the form and the corners of my lips suddenly curled up. Well, the law of preserving life can be bankrupt because now I have found the absolute law of gravity in my life. Since the day the annulment agreement was crushed by Co. and replaced with a promotion application, the #1 high school's ecosystem has witnessed a large-scale jealousy mutation. Big brother Co. officially cultivates his mind and character. To fulfill his promise not to reduce the average IQ value of his family, Co. completely abandoned the image of the idle king of hell. The basketball was shoved into the corner of the cabinet, replaced by cups of thick black coffee without sugar and thick stacks of practice test questions. I officially became his exclusive coach. This process, in physical terms, is a series of days forcing matter beyond its elastic limit. There were nights when she watched her head scratching her head over an integral equation to the point of falling asleep on the table, her long eyelashes closing to cover the dark circles of fatigue. My heart suddenly softened. His patience and crazy determination, a person who was used to using his fists but now sat on a chair to solve math problems, created an intense chemical reaction in me. The amount of dopamine released in my brain when I watch her diligently studying is 100 times higher than when I solve a difficult math problem. I realized that I really loved to death the appearance of this unjust guy trying to change for me. God certainly does not disappoint people and also does not disappoint my cruel indoctrination efforts. Thanks to his essentially low IQ, Co. created a spectacular comeback. That year's college entrance exam, we held hands and entered 2 top schools in the same city. 4 years of college are a series of days filled with dog food throughout the 2 campuses. Even though I study at a different school, my grandfather appears at the gate of my school more often than local students. As soon as the male students of the natural science department heard that they were planning to settle down and study with a beauty queen, they were immediately nipped in the bud by the killer eyes of the school's fiancé. We love each other sweetly, simply but firmly like the structure of a diamond. After graduating from school, the 2 of us officially entered 2 different yet parallel career paths. Co. took off his active t-shirt and put on a hand-tailored suit to elegantly take over the Co family's corporation. From high school big brother, he completely transformed into a talented president. In the marketplace, Mr. Co was famous for being decisive, cold, and quick and precise, making his opponents shy away from their reputation. But they never knew that the fire-shouting CEO would park his modest supercar every afternoon after work in front of the High-End Materials Research Institute, obediently waiting for his wife to finish work. That's right, I turned down the position of Director of Strategy to put on a blue and white shirt, immersed in rows of test tubes and particle accelerators. My mother-in-law wanted to transfer the shares to me. Now she is a grandmother and is extremely proud to show it off everywhere. My daughter-in-law is a scientist, the guy from my family got the gold. Our wedding took place on a bright fall day. Not long after that, the crystallization of their love was born, a little baby who fully inherited his mother's genius brain that loved logic and his beauty that defeated a series of his father's secretly jealous scoundrels. Our married life is a law that preserves absolute happiness. Each person pursues his own ideal. He built a strong economic empire to protect his family. I dedicate my intelligence to scientific research projects. During the day, we are CEO and researcher Lam busy with passion. But when night fell and the door closed, Co. automatically took off his cold shell, rolled up his sleeves and went into the kitchen to stew lotus root soup for me, his mouth still scratching. Lam Xiaoman, you stayed in the lab and missed lunch today, right? My brain is made of titanium alloy but I don't get tired. Eat this bowl of soup for me. Otherwise, tomorrow I'll buy your research institute and then fire you and go home and raise your child. I laughed, obediently picked up a bowl of hot soup, stood on tiptoe and kissed my CEO slave on the cheek. I thought he was a variable causing chaos in my life, but now I understand that he is the only constant, the absolute constant for my life's equation to give an answer called perfection. And Anudio, thank you very much. If you find it interesting, please like and subscribe to hear more great stories. Dose of music. Love is addictive, love spare tea, love arrangement, love you, love quizzes. Everyone listening is a sad love cotton rub in one shot tea, get married, yeah. Music.